Mic check, mic check. Testing 1, 2, 3. Mic check, testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2. Mic check, mic check. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Good afternoon. It is 12 noon and we will begin our Student Success Committee meeting. The first item is called to order. Erica Benavides Garcia, present. Jackie Levin Ramos, absent. Ms. Cindy Liendo,
Present.
Ms. Lizzie Newsom,
Present.
and we also have our board president, Mr. Esteban Rangel.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, then we move on. That was number 2. Then we move on to number 3, Bachelor of Applied Science in Organizational Leadership Program update, Dr. Marisa Guerrero.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Oh, this thing is moved. Okay. Come all the way back here. Good afternoon. For the record, my name is Dr. Marisa Guerrero. I am the lead faculty and director of the Bachelor of Applied Science in Organizational Leadership. We would like to thank Dr. Ramirez and the board and our provost, Marisela Rodriguez Tijerina, for inviting us today to provide a little update on our program and some student updates. And we also have some of our students here in the audience today, a big wave. And some of them, thank you. Some of them will be presenting for you today. So I'm going to try to be very brief in my remarks to give our students some time. But the board is aware of our program, but just to give a little recap, we are a 4-year bachelor's degree offered here at Laredo College. And this degree, the whole essence of it is to prepare students to be global and local leaders. We emphasize real-world learning through practical competency-based curriculum. And so, our program is really designed for kind of 2 kinds of students, right? So we have our professionals in the community who in 10 months can come back and get a bachelor's degree and move up in their organizations. But as our program has evolved, and you can kind of see in the room around me, we also have a younger generation coming in, wanting to be small business owners, entrepreneurs, and take on leadership roles in our community. And so we're very happy to be able to train leaders for those areas. And so we're just going to very briefly provide some curriculum and data updates. And in terms of our curriculum, we really are very learner-focused and really are focused on being accessible to any kind of student. So we use open educational resources. Our curriculum is very career-focused with technology integration, and you'll see some of that in our presentations today. One of the things that we really focus on is data-driven decision-making. We think it's important for leaders to be able to use different kinds of data and apply those in their organizations to make decisions. We know that's a very important skill. And also qualitative research and leadership frameworks. We are hoping that many of our students will go on to graduate programs, and so we definitely want to give them that solid foundation within our program.
We're here at the Consejo House and we are volunteering.
What are you doing? Are you helping mommy? Yes?
So I just wanted to show that little snippet to talk a little bit about our program being hybrid. So although the coursework is delivered online in competency-based education, which makes it very flexible for our learners, we don't have what we call due dates. We have what we call benchmarks. So we allow our students to work at their own pace for the most part, right? What it does is it allows them to really learn outside the classroom in real-world settings. So we focus on leadership development, ethical decision-making, and applied communication, not just through theory, but through being placed in the field. So, if you're a nurse, you go and you have clinicals at hospitals. So for our leadership program, we train them in the field in different service-based organizations. One of our also big projects we have is our Laredo College Palomino Leadership Summit. And we work with other organizations around campus, such as Student Life and others, to create our own conference. And so students have the experience of not just presenting at a conference or symposium, but actually putting the entire thing together from breakout sessions and coordination. So again, we give our students that real world experience. I'm just going to show you a couple. One other thing that we do is a dining etiquette training. We know as leaders and going into administrative roles, it's important to be able to have those skills. And so we do a little bit of that as well.
In the beginning, we noticed that the children were curious, yet a bit defensive.
Everything
thing that might happen if you go to a very, very elegant
Y'all might recognize Ms.
event
Gina
or
Gonzalez
restaurant,
here, training our
the
students at their
server
conference on
might
dining
want to
etiquette.
nap when you sit down.
And so now we're going to kind of look at leadership by the numbers. What does the data say? Well, our program has grown. So we started, and actually our provost and I were just talking about this. We actually started planning this program in 2019, worked on it over COVID, and our first cohort started in 2022. And we started with a little cohort of our 16 students, and now it's grown. We are currently, that's a little typo, we're currently accepting students for cohort 8, and we're up to 266 students currently in or through the pipeline with a graduation rate of 88%. So we're very proud of how this program has grown. And, the fact that we have, 266 graduating with a four-year degree, it's an amazing accomplishment, not just for our students and how they're going to contribute to our community, but also what that does for Laredo College in terms of some of the benefits we get from producing so many graduates. So we're exceedingly proud of them. And it doesn't stop there. The whole point of this program is that we want students to not just be gainfully employed, but to also gain leadership promotions in their organizations. And to date, we have 20 to 27% of our first cohorts already earning leadership positions, not only in Laredo, but around Texas. We have UISD, University of North Texas, Sames, Pilot Thomas. The list just goes on and on. So we have our Laredo College alumni really spreading out throughout the state. We're so proud of them. In addition, the learning doesn't stop with us. We really push our students to go into those graduate programs. And we currently have up to 18% of our students already in graduate programs or completing their graduate degrees. Hanover College, WGU, TAMU, just to name a few. And so just to kind of give a quick update, a quick summary, we have up to 53% of our students who have already reported a measurable impact. So they've already gone to graduate school, they've already gotten a promotion or a job, their first job, based on our initial data. And I'm just quickly showing some of our STAR students. This student, so if you go into occupational therapy, they have a bridge directly from a bachelor's to a doctoral program. And so they do their master's in the accelerated form, and we have this student already in her doctoral program, Cassandra. Aldo is at IKEA as a business navigator operations manager, so we're very proud of him. We'll need to go get some furniture over there soon. We have Yvonne, who graduated, I believe she's already graduated from WGU in healthcare management. We have Edgar, who actually this May, we're very proud of him, will be our first doctor. And so we're really, really proud of Edgar for completing his doctoral degree. And Ophelia Perez, who was actually offered a job with Oracle in Austin. And so, the great thing about our program is it's really stackable with your expertise, the degrees you already have, the skills you already have, and then topping it off with that leadership. And so it really makes, we'd like to tell our students, we make you a triple threat. Okay. And so that was just, I wanted to kind of go quickly so that I could give the students some time to talk. But what we really wanted to focus on today was our experiential learning. And this is one of those things we think is just going to propel this program because our students are learning so much in the field. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our retention specialist, Ms. Amanda Flores del Toro. And I have to say, this young lady is an amazing leader in her own right, and she's done such a great job really directly overseeing these projects. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to her, and she'll introduce our students for us.
Thank you, Dr. Guerrero. For the record, Amanda Flores del Toro, Academic Retention Specialist for the Bachelor's in Organization Leadership Program. So we want to highlight the experiential learning in the community because it hasn't been around in our entire course of existence. But back in 2023, we started toying around with the idea of bringing experiential learning into our program. And it's really taken on a life of its own, and it's really grown in such a short amount of time. And basically, I like to see it as a win-win for both the students and the employers. The students get a valuable experience, they get to build their professional networks, and they get to develop their leadership skills, while simultaneously the employers get to serve as mentors and guides for future leaders, and they also get the opportunity to evaluate new talent. So at the beginning of every long semester, our students are assigned a experiential learning project at a nonprofit organization. And right now we have memorandums of understanding with Habitat for Humanity, the Laredo Chamber of Commerce, the Sacred Heart Children's Home, Imaginarium of South Texas, the Laredo Center for Urban and Agricultural Sustainability, and of course we have several departments here at LC that have hopped on to guide and mentor a team. But basically, they get assigned a real-world problem in these nonprofit organizations that they have 10 months to find a solution for. We're here, we have several students here to talk about their projects and their experience. So I'll give them a little bit of time to talk about them. So first up, we have Ms. Priscilla Arispe. She is assigned to the Sacred Heart Children's Home. So Ms. Priscilla, do you want to talk a little bit about your project?
Thank you very much, Ms. Del Toro. So, good afternoon, everyone. Madam President, Board of Trustees. I am, for the record, my name is Priscilla Arispe. I am a student at the Besarago program, Organizational Leadership. So before I begin, I do want to say thank you all very much. I'm a little bit nervous, but thank you all very much for this opportunity because personally, I do work for Webb County. I also have my own business and I'm all over the place. But with this program, I get to actually pursue my dreams after I'm done. So I'm going to go ahead and begin. I do have the project of Sacred Heart Children's Home. So, and I'm also the president for LC Impact. Okay, so here we go. It's an honor to be here today, surrounded by such a dedicated group of learners, staff, and supporters. So together we focus on learning and growth, especially in the area of English as a second language, ESL. Sacred Heart Children's Home has always been a place of love and support, where children are given the opportunity to flourish. Through our ESL program, we are providing a powerful tool that will open many doors, the gift of language. Learning English is not just about vocabulary or grammar, but also about building confidence, connecting with others, and communicating our ideas and dreams. For many children, English is not their first language, but that's okay. It's a process, and each step forward is an achievement. This project aims to learn language into a bridge, not a barrier. A bridge to new friendships, better education, and greater opportunities in life. Every word learned is one step closer to your goals. As tutors, leaders, we also have responsibility to create engaging curriculums and fun activities that make learning exciting and effective. So these kids are, they're very sweet, but of course we need to be a little bit strict, but also we like to have fun with them so that they can actually learn and fulfill their knowledge. So then it says, sorry, ya me perdí. So you need to have clear communication and empowering others. And that's what we're doing for the children at Sacred Heart. Each small achievement adds up to something great, and together we're creating lasting change. To the tutors, Ms. Stephanie, thank you for being here today. Your dedication is deeply appreciated. It's not just about teaching English, it's about mentoring, being a role model, and encouraging these children. Your work is shaping their future in ways beyond language skills. So then finally, thank you to everyone involved in this program. Whether you are a staff member, volunteer, or donor, you are making a significant difference in these children's lives. Together, we're building foundation for the future, one word at a time. So thank you, Ms. Del Toro and Ms. Guerrero, for giving us the opportunity, and to all of you, thank you so much. So next project, we do have the Habitat of Humanity, and that would be Ms. Berenice Molina.
Thank you, Priscilla. Good afternoon, Madam President and Board of Trustees. For the record, my name is Berenice Molina, a student in the Besoro program. My experiential learning project is with Habitat for Humanity. My project team consists of 5 members, including myself, from cohort 6 and 3 from cohort 7. When we first met with Habitat for Humanity, we learned that one of their challenges was raising awareness for the Restore. The Restore is a home improvement store that accepts donations and gently used items, sells them, and uses the profits to help build affordable homes for low-income families. Many people are unaware that this Restore exists, including myself at the time. So we decided to focus on helping them raise awareness for their Restore. Initially, we planned to promote the Restore by managing their social media accounts, but we later decided to take a different approach that we felt would have a greater impact. We decided to set up a booth at the LC Fun Fest to promote the Restore, knowing that the event would be family-oriented, we decided to make the booth fun and engaging for kids. To attract visitors to our booth, we set up a sign that read, "Follow, spin, and win." In exchange for following the Restore's Facebook and Instagram page, visitors had the chance to spin a wheel and win prizes such as t-shirts, hand sanitizers, toys, coloring books, gift cards, and snacks. Along with that, as a thank you for following the Restore, we gave each participant a discount coupon to use at the Restore. To track our progress, we took screenshots of the follower counts on both Facebook and Instagram before and after the event. By the end of the day, we had gained 260 new followers on Facebook and 36 more on Instagram. We also had a sign-in sheet for guests, and in total, we had 307 people visit our booth. Our next event will be on April 12th at the Canseco House. It will be an Easter event where we will continue to raise awareness for the Habitat for Humanity Restore. Through this experience, I have gained valuable lessons in leadership. One of the most important lessons is adaptability. The ability to reassess strategies, remain flexible, and make quick adjustments when things don't go as planned. Being open to change and finding real-time solutions is crucial for success. Along with that, effective communication and teamwork proved to be key to our success. Maintaining clear communication, sharing ideas, staying aligned with our goals, my team was able to collaborate effectively and execute a successful event. These lessons have been valuable in improving how we work together to achieve our goals. Thank you. The next project we want to highlight is the Imaginarium of South Texas. Up next is Kathy Spear.
Thank you, Berenice, for the introduction. Good afternoon, Madam President and Board of Trustees. For the record, my name is Kathy Spear, and I am part of the Bachelor in Applied Science and Organizational Leadership program here at Laredo College. First and foremost, thank you so much for being here. It is an honor to be able to speak amongst such wonderful group of individuals. The project that I have been assigned is the experiential learning project is called Imaginarium of South Texas. So that is my project site. And part of what myself, along with two of my other colleagues, Fred Fox and Sam Tovar, have been entailed to do is work on creating a social media digital campaign. So what that entails is us going several times a week, particularly on Fridays, for a few hours a day, usually from 8 to 12, 10 to 2 p.m., to be able to take footage, come up with culminating videos, editing, to be able to gain traction to the website, the Imaginarium website. So as you all know, the Imaginarium used to be located at Mall del Norte, catty corner to Dillard's, and now it is located here at West and Washington Street, here at Laredo College. And one of the issues that we've been seeing is that because there was no sign placed or anything that showed where Imaginarium is now located, we're trying to gain that traction back and have families be involved and know that the Imaginarium is in fact still open. However, we just relocated here to Laredo College. And so we believe, especially because now everything's done, through social media, that is our kind of word of mouth. We're trying to gain traction. A lot of people, we want to make sure that they're aware that the Imaginarium is open, to be able to be, sponsored by those yearly tickets, be able to gain traction and movement to the Imaginarium. And so that is pretty much what we are entitled to do. We have a wonderful social media specialist there at Imaginarium of South Texas who does the final review of our work. And we have a lot of things to showcase, from Timmy the T-Rex. There's several reptiles. You can actually take them to different schools and showcase them for events. There's actually, you can do parties. There's all kinds of things that can be done at the Imaginarium of South Texas. Lastly, I just want to mention that it's very important that, and I'm very proud to be part of the Imaginarium because, as we all know, Laredo is a very small city. We're slowly growing, of course, but if you see, due to COVID, unfortunately, a lot of businesses, especially museums, have closed down because everyone wants to be just on social media. And so this is one of the wonderful things we have here in Laredo to showcase and have children and families take advantage and be involved in the children's education and life and grow together as a family. Because believe it or not, the Imaginarium is actually something where children can having, inquisitive minds, growing minds, and expand their knowledge. And these are our future, individuals. So thank you so much for taking the time. It was an honor speaking with you today.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. And just we wanted to highlight another two more projects here in our presentation today. So another organization that we've partnered up with is the Laredo Chamber of Commerce. And the students that are assigned to this project are assigned to Youth Leadership Laredo. If you're familiar with if you're not familiar with Youth Leadership Laredo, they provide a comprehensive program that creates confident, leadership-oriented citizens. And our students were tasked with planning and organizing educational field trips for students between the grades of 8th grade to 12th grade. So this past month, they visited the Webb County Heritage Museum to learn about history. They did an import-export company visit where they learned about the logistic process, a big industry here in our city. They toured the Laredo Water Museum and learned about water management and what it takes to safely get water to our faucets. And they also did a federal courthouse mock trial in the federal courthouse this past month. So our students were in charge of organizing all those field trips, all the logistics of getting permission slips, transportation, food, everything involved with planning a field trip. And there was a one-day field trip for all these grade levels. So we commend their efforts and are very proud of them. And last, another project that's very near and dear to us is the Laredo Center for Urban and Agricultural Sustainability, also known as LCUAS. It's a relatively new nonprofit organization located at the Canseco House on Chihuahua Street. So they have a very unique mission, and if anybody knows anything about this organization, you know that Mr. Moreno is kind of like a one-man show, and he's trying to tackle so much on his own. So that when we came to him and offered to partner up, he was very appreciative of the students coming on board to help out. One of his prime concerns was that he needed to spread the mission of creating a local, thriving, healthy food system. And what they do is they teach the community, they teach volunteers how to grow crops, right, in a sustainable way. But our interns assigned to that site were tasked with creating a website to kind of spread that awareness. So our interns created the website. They did all the planning, the organizing. They had to attend the LCUAS board meetings, present, get feedback, go back to the drawing board, make the changes, go back, present again, until it was finally approved, an approved project. So they got a lot of leadership experience there. And then they did a website launch in the form of a community pumpkin patch event where they opened it up to the community to share the website. And then they had like little seeds that they gave out with a QR code that took people directly to the website to just to spread awareness on the mission of the organization. So we're very, very proud of these projects. These are some of the projects that we wanted to highlight. And we just continue to grow, continue to partner up with other nonprofits. And thank you for the opportunity, to talk about this here today.
Thank you.
And so just in closing, we've had a tremendous growth, tremendous program. I feel like our students are doing a great job. We're very proud of them. I do want to again thank Dr. Tijerina, thank very much Dr. Ramirez for their support. I don't think I ever told them this story. Two things real quick. So we were in a meeting and Maricela was like, y'all need to do something where you get out there, you get in the field, right? We need them. And so that was a lot of the impetus. And I think the other thing, I don't think I ever told Dr. Ramirez, one of our students went up to her, was like, we want a project. And she's like, you need to go to Sacred Heart. They need a lot of help. And that's actually how we started with our first site at Sacred Heart. So as you can see, tremendous support that we have from our administration and amazing students and amazing staff, and I commend them all. And so looking to the future, it's not over yet. So we've just proposed a level 1 certificate that would allow students before they come into our program to get a certificate in leadership, to even build even deeper leadership skills. And the kicker on this one, everything, goes through with the coordinating board, is there is an optional study abroad to Spain element to that. That would happen in the summer before. So really working on global leadership and just taking that to another level. So we're very excited. We thank the board for your support. We thank our administration. And again, thank you for the opportunity in presenting today.
I have a couple of questions. Dr.
Absolutely.
Guerrero. First, how many students do you allow in the cohort? Is there a fixed number, or I don't know?
So generally our cohorts, they kind of hover around 30 students.
Okay.
However, we are very open to larger cohorts. We are getting some new faculty, and we have that capacity to grow. We have some good news actually right now. Our next cohort that doesn't start till August is already at 32. So we are looking at probably having our biggest group coming through this fall. Our recruiters, I'm not sure, they're busy working right now and advising and doing the things. We have 2 amazing ladies in the office, which is Miss Patty Perez and Miss Marisa Parra, and they've done an amazing job. Of course, Ruben Villarreal and all the marketing teams done an amazing job of getting the word out there. And so, yeah, but no, there isn't a cap as of yet, as long as we have the faculty to cover.
Okay, then I have another question.
Yes.
How many students have we graduated thus far?
So far, we've graduated 266. We're on our way to 266.
Very good.
Yes.
And do we have an idea about how many of these students are like LC grads, or like get their administration in LC, or are they just new to Laredo College?
So you mean, are there like LC alumni?
Alumni, yes.
Oh, that's a good question. So we would say the majority are, and I'll tell you why. So the structure for our program is, originally it was to matriculate from all of our associate degrees. So computer, homeland security. So that's why May is our big recruitment, because they're graduating and we swoop them up.
Sure.
And then they top it off with that. Now we are getting students who are more general studies. That's why we're developing a leadership certificate. We do get students from other institutions, but by and large, they are LC alumni.
Very good.
Yes.
Good to know. Anybody else have any questions?
I don't know, Mayor.
Mhm.
Yes, thank you. First of all, Dr. Ramirez, Dr. Tijerina, thank you for this program. It's a great program. Dr. Guerrero, without you, it would not be able to function. I do want to say, just on this program on itself, I have passed on a lot of contact information to Dr. Ramirez on people that word of mouth. And I think it's the young ladies, word of mouth of what they're doing that is being transmitted into the community, of being able to get a bachelor's degree in a very short period of time, but then also at the cost,
Yes.
That is a huge factor, because a lot of individuals that have approached me is, it's not that expensive. And I think that is something that's helping a lot of these people come forward and saying, you know what, this is something fast that I could be able to do and pay. And I think it's something great. So I want to congratulate you. I'm happy to see that you started with a nice little teen number, and now you're at, at a very high, big number. And that is remarkable. That just shows the work that you all are doing. And that's awesome. I do have a couple of questions for Ms. Del Toro. When you assign these individuals, the people that are in these projects, how did you assign them to? Do they choose? Do you assign them based on what like where they want to go to as like a career path? Or
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So we do have a process for the project selection. So in our new student orientation, they're required to do 2 surveys. We evaluate their current educational background and professional background, and then we present the project lineup. And we use that survey, the project lineup, and then a survey to rank their top favorite project to their least favorite project. And then we use both surveys to kind of find a fit for them. And that's how we build the project teams.
And do all the programs have the same amount of timeline?
Yes, everybody has 10 months to complete. The program is only 10 months long. It's 35 weeks. So they do only have the 10 months to complete the project. Ideally, we usually want to wrap up between month 8 or 9 because they have Dr. Guerrero as the instructor for the final capstone courses. And, she starts preparing them for, I don't know if you ever attended one of our networking mixers, a symposium, research papers, and all that. So we kind of want the projects out of the way so they can focus on those capstone courses at the end. So we start wrapping up around month 8 or 9. But yes, sometimes they do go the 10 months.
And I guess my last question is, have you found out of any of these individuals that have started in that program, let's say, Sacred Heart or whichever one, have they been employed by any of those programs?
We're only about a year and a half in. I don't think anyone has been employed by the nonprofit organizations, but let me just give you an example. The students that were working on the LCUAS website, they're still kind of being sought after for their technical skills on the website end. So he even considered starting his own website building business to kind of help out with that, because he did have it just so happened that we aligned that project very well with that student, or that project aligned very well with that student, and he had the skills to do that. So, he sometimes still consults for Mr. Moreno and helps them update the website here and there.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aaron del Toro.
Yes, thank you.
Great
Ladies?
information. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any questions?
I just wanted to say thank you, Dr. Guerrero, and all of you all that presented, and everyone here who is representing this bachelor program that's new. It's very exciting, and I'm very proud of all of you all. I had just one question. I know there's 12% that didn't make it, and I don't mean to be the negative Nelly in the room at all. I'm just wondering, like, what happened to that 12%
Sure.
that didn't make it? Like, what were some of the reasons that they didn't complete?
That's actually a really good question. So we kind of like to say life happens. And so because our students are working adults, sometimes it's, taking care of an ill family member or within themselves having chronic illnesses. It's very, I can probably count on one hand the number of times it's academic. We have very strong academic support. There's a lot of other things we could have shared with you today. We have academic coaches. So for the most part, they're non-cognitive issues. They're non-academic. They're life issues. It's not money. We have tremendous support. And it's not really academics. It's life. And they get busy with work, and they kind of, we've had students come and tell me, I'm good, I can either keep my job or I can stay in this program. I don't have the capacity for both right now. The good thing about that is that, we understand that. And so we do have a process in place. If students do fall behind, we do give them a chance to kind of, come back and try to pick up. It's not an unending cycle, right? We kind of have limits to that, but we do kind of give them a chance to come back. And so we expect those numbers to kind of fluctuate, because we do have some who had kind of dropped out that are kind of back. But short answer, just it's kind of life, right?
Understandable. And so I heard the word hybrid, and I'm still new, obviously. So
Sure.
Are some of the classes online and then some in person, or what, like in this particular program, what, I'm sorry that I'm asking. I mean,
No.
anybody
That's
else,
actually a
right?
really
But,
good question. Yes. It's a
what
really
are
good
you
question.
referring
So we do hybrid a little differently with this program. In the traditional sense, hybrid would be online content and face-to-face lectures. But because we have so much time commitment with the experiential learning that's face-to-face, that is the face-to-face content. So lectures are done in the evenings online, and then face-to-face, kind of like what you see today. And then some of them are here for an assignment. One of their assignment is to attend a public meeting. So I think some of them are probably here for that. So because there's so much face-to-face, that is the hybrid element.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely.
Ms. Lento?
Thank you. I'd just like to say that I have had the opportunity to interact with some of the students through the nonprofit that I work for, and I can just tell you that they are amazing.
Thank you.
We have seen the numbers go up, not only in the visits to the Habitat Restore, but even in the amount of money of the items that are sold. And
Wow.
all of this goes back to helping build homes for low-income families. So you are making a huge difference. Thank you.
Awesome.
And I know that they mentioned that it is a struggle and you have to adapt, because working with a nonprofit is difficult. There's such a limited amount of staff, and so everybody is stretched and just trying to find the time to get the information that you need to be able to do the work that you need to do. I know that it's very challenging, but they really have been amazing and are making a huge impact in our community. So thank you all so much for everything
Thank
that you
you.
do. Of course, it all starts with leadership. So
Thank you.
you all are doing an amazing job. I
And we
just
don't want to
say thank
embarrass you. Ms. Lindo has been a huge supporter of giving our students just that freedom to work on these projects and the tools that they need. And we've had many a lunch meeting and different kinds of things where she really rolls up her sleeve and she's really helped with the students. And the benefits for the students as well. And we're all about marketing, right? Ourselves, marketing our students and Capstones. They put together their website. Don't be scared. It's going to be fine. They put together a website for themselves as their own, basically as their own business. And so how does it look on your resume to say, I worked for Habitat for Humanity. I developed a marketing campaign. I worked for this nonprofit. So although to your question, we haven't seen the dividends on it yet, we are going to see that, I think, come through. And so this is one of the things I explained to them. It's like, it's not just that doing the project and getting a grade, you're going to have so much of that, leverage for having worked with these big organizations. So we thank you for that, Ms. Lindo.
Thank you. We are very proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any questions?
You want to take a picture?
Sure.
You want to take a photo with the students?
Sure. Yes? Would you like to take a picture with us?
Will the students come forward and we'll take a photograph?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes. Yeah. Amanda and Marisa and Dr. Tijerina, join us, please. Yeah, we've now got steps. If you come around the front, you all can get on the top and the students can get on the other two later.
Definitely careful.
Cindy up here?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Next. Here we go. Okay, next we'll move on. Number 4, enrollment update, Dr. Fred Solis and Ms. Jessica Trevino.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, esteemed board members, President Ramirez, Counselor Rusty Muir. Fred Solis, Vice President for Student Success and Enrollment, for the record.
Good afternoon, Jessica Trevino, Associate Vice President of Enrollment Management, for the record.
This afternoon, we would like to present an enrollment update for our spring 2025 semester. But before I get into the presentation, I would first like to acknowledge the contributions made by 2 specific offices that helped make this report available. First of all, the Office of Associate Vice President for Enrollment Management, Ms. Jessica Trevino, and then also the Office of the Institutional Research and Planning, headed by Maria Luisa Ramirez. And so the data we'll be presenting today comes from both of these offices. In terms of the enrollment activity, the first class day for the second 8-week term for the spring semester started on March the 17th, about 2 weeks ago. The reported census date was yesterday for the second 8 weeks, as we continue to continue with the rest of the spring semester. There are plans at this time to open up registration for May semester, summer and fall, beginning April the 7th. Again, this date is tentative, but we will make it more official as the days go on. while we wrap up some other processes that we need to complete before then. In terms of our spring 2025 enrollment, I included a pie chart to show you the distribution of how that enrollment fares out. First of all, the majority of our students are obviously under the dual credit grouping, which accounts currently for 54% of our current enrollment for the spring, followed by our non-dual credit grouping, which is at 41%. And then the grouping from those that came in the early part of spring, known as our wintermester, which accounts for 5% of our spring enrollment. Overall, our total enrollment for the spring right now sits at 11,004 currently. But even at that number, it puts us at 7.96% over last spring. So it's almost an 8% increase over last spring
That is
of where we
excellent.
were at this point in time. So again,
Thank you. Yes, that
the
is
efforts to everyone, instruction, all the faculty, all the courses, all the different programs that make this possible. In focusing on the students that come in for the second half of every spring semester, otherwise known as the second start or the second 8 weeks, I do want to call attention to the fact that we also had an increase in that population of students. These are students that were not registered in January, elected to come into the college until March, into our second 8-week term. And so for whatever reasons, they didn't come in January, but they did come in the March. We do have an increase of that population as well compared to last year. So overall, that's a 21% increase over that population from last spring to this spring. Again, students that are only enrolled in the second 8 weeks of the term. When we look at our section distribution in terms of our schedule, I'd like to call attention that the majority of our sections or schedule right now is at face-to-face at 60%. Followed by online courses at 24%, followed by hybrid courses at 16%. Regardless of the modality of how the course is offered, overall, the sections increased by over 7% compared to last spring. Obviously, with more students coming, we need more classes, more sections, and therefore it correlates between the number of students and the number of sections we've had. And so also indicating an increase in terms of that. Our continuing education enrollment, as you may or may not know, it runs on a quarter system. And so currently continuing education just opened their quarter 3 schedule. So the courses that they're offering are courses that are going to be offered either in the month of March, April, or May, known as quarter number 3. Currently, the head count of enrollment right now for our continuing education enrollment sits at 296 students. We still have a ways to go to catch up to where we were last year. But the number from last year is at 784, but that's at the end of May. So we technically have month of March, month of April, month of May to catch up and make up the same number of
Dr.
students we
Solis,
had
and
from last year.
are the numbers pretty much the same, like, let's say, in the month of March from last year and this year?
Right now, we're pretty on par as where we would have been. We were only looking at what's available for the first month of the quarter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Any questions so far? Okay. For our financial aid update, I'll pass it on to our Associate Vice President.
Good afternoon again. So this afternoon, I wanted to present to all of you a financial aid update in conjunction to the spring 2025. These numbers that you see here are exclusive to spring 2025, and these are the different types of financial assistance that is available to the students. On the left-hand side, you have the type of award, for instance, the Pell Grant and the SEOG grant, followed with the F, are for federal funds. Those are federal funding that comes from the Department of Education. Then the TEOG and the OCT-PEG are state funds that are given to us through the state of Texas. Scholarships and the Palomino Pledge are institutional funds that we have been able to disperse to the students. The following column is disbursed money. This is money that has already paid out to the students, meaning this majority paid out during the first 8 weeks of the spring semester. So that has started, that has finished, that money has been paid out. That actually totals to $8,184,053 for the first part of the spring semester. The authorized aid, which is the following column, is aid that is right now authorized to be paid out. We are looking forward to paying out these funds at the end of this week. Because reporting day was just yesterday, we just have to make sure that the students that are going to receive the funds actually were attending class. We're going to receive rosters from our friends in the academic side, from the faculty, informing us if there was a student that did not show up to class, that needs to be dropped before we pay the money, and all of that stuff. So I know we're holding on to that 11,004. We really hope to hold on to the 11,000, but we still have some enrollment adjustments to make in order to pay out the $4,971,985 pending to be paid. If all remains the same, that will put us at a grand total of $13,156,038 that we would have paid out to our students for the spring 2025 semester.
Very good.
Questions with the numbers?
I would like to say something.
Dr. Ramirez?
Yeah, I don't know that this is a number that we ever talk about freely like this, but this is how much money, the money that we disperse is the money that we put out into our local economy. And so when we look at the support that our students give into or put into our local economy, just in one semester alone, we're probably looking at somewhere between 13 and 15 million dollars per semester that we put out into the local economy, the majority of which is not coming from local funds. So I do want to point that out, because I don't know that that has been isolated, because our students then go out and to eateries, they buy groceries, they pay for gas, they buy cars, they buy computers, they go to the movies, they whatever it might be, but that's their money. They pay electric bills, they pay car payments, and all of that is coming directly from the money we disperse to them.
And that's federal and state, right?
Most of it.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you, with everything going on in our government right now,
Louder.
with everything going on in our government right now, how is this being affected? Do we know what's up, coming up, or?
So in Dr. Ramirez's
So low,
words from
like,
yesterday,
I don't
we
want
go
it to
day by day.
change.
We do go day by day on everything that is happening. However, if you take a look at our numbers, we do disperse in what we call the last dollar model, meaning that we first disperse the students' entitlement, federal money going out first, state money going out second, institutional money going out third. If you look at the commitment for the Palomino Pledge for this spring, it is still unauthorized aid. And the reason being is we haven't dispersed that because we still have external scholarships coming into students that could cover for spring. So there are funds out there. Our donor relations team has been working very closely with our scholarship coordinators, with our financial aid office, to make sure that the monies that are out there that do not depend on the federal funds are being dispersed to students, so that we can make sure that those are expended first in that regards. With your all support, a couple of meetings ago, several meetings ago, or maybe even a year ago already, you all did authorize a very healthy amount for the Palomino Pledge
Right.
that has not been fully expended yet. So that right now is something we rely on heavily. Should anything happen on any given day that the rug gets pulled out from under us, that can be some funds that we can tap into to ensure the continuation to the students. Now, just a reminder, the Palomino Pledge covers tuition and mandatory fees. So what Dr. Ramirez was mentioning, the outpour into the economy to go to the movies, the refunds the students take home, that's what may be affected should something happen with the federal government, because our interest is to make sure that the student covers their tuition and fees, and that they continue their education. So whatever the case may be, we are preparing, we are looking into external scholarships, promoting external scholarships to the students out there, so that they continue to apply and get funds that do not heavily rely on the federal government.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody else, any questions? Okay.
However, on that note, we continue to operate business as usual until told otherwise. And the FAFSA application, which is the federal application for student aid, is open already for the 2025-2026 school year. So for those students, if you all are going to enroll for 25-26, make sure you complete your FAFSA application now. You are utilizing the 2023 income tax information, so there's no need to wait to file this year's income tax because this one should be complete. As of the week before we went on spring break, we had already received 4,255 FAFSA applications that have been processed by our Office of Financial Aid. We are pending to receive the ones that could have possibly come in during the spring break week and last week, so that we are continuing to process. Now, with that being said, we are also seeing some delays in those applications because of the federal government. And Dr. Ramirez, were you going to mention? Yes. So we are seeing some delays because the Department of Ed has lost quite a few employees that used to process some of these applications. So the delay in receiving the application may be a lot longer than what we are anticipating. So please, for any students out there watching our committee meeting, to please submit the application early so that we can make sure, now, so that we can make sure that we get it in time for the 25-26 school year, which is kicks off with the fall semester.
Because that does affect our bottom line, our numbers, our enrollment, our everything.
And that includes current students.
Current students, correct.
For the new academic year, they have to file their FAFSA. So everybody currently enrolled, you all need to help us spread the word. And those that are going to want to start this summer or fall, they need to do it now.
No, okay.
Have we seen, I'm sorry, Ms. Garcia.
No, go right ahead.
Have we seen an increase, or are students being chosen for verification yet?
Not yet, because the verification files have not come in just yet. Right now, we are just receiving the ICERs and the matching to the students.
Okay.
Questions with
Anybody else?
applications? Should anybody need assistance in completing the financial aid application, we do have our computer lab at the financial aid office readily available to assist, so that the students can actually get guidance in the completion of the application. We did get a glimpse at the 25-26 FAFSA application, and some glitches that we would call technical glitches or hurdles for the students from the last application to this one have been addressed. For the most part, it's regarding to the contributor, the parents who used to have to wait for an email to confirm their account. Now they can easily access a code to their cell phone, and hopefully that expedites the process as well. So little changes that will hopefully have a big impact. Changing topics, on behalf of the Commencement Committee, we are excited to kick off our Spring 2025 commencement celebrations very soon. We are looking at Friday, May 9th, 2025 at the Sames Auto Arena. It is all under control. We know there was a fire on the roof last night, but everything is good to go. We are looking at 2 ceremonies. There is a morning ceremony happening where we will recognize our Associate of Applied Science, our certificates, and our Occupational Skills Award students. The ceremony starts promptly at 10 a.m. Doors open to the public and to our graduates at 9 a.m. No tickets required for entry. We will go up to capacity. The afternoon ceremony recognizes our Associate of Science and our Associate of Arts students. Ceremony starts promptly at 2 p.m. and doors open to the public at 1 p.m. These dates and times continue to keep in mind our a very big group of students that will be graduating with us, which are our dual enrollment students that get bused to our ceremonies to and from the ceremony. So we try to accommodate the bus routes as well within the times of the ceremonies. If I'm not mistaken, we have a little close to 500 dual enrollment students graduating in various areas. Here are the very, very, very preliminary numbers of those graduation ceremonies. We are expecting a little over 400 students for the morning ceremony and about 650 for the afternoon ceremony, a total of 1,090 as of right now, pending to receive a couple more or hopefully not remove many. Questions? Comments?
Mr. Rangel?
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, Jessica, great job on your presentation. And Dr. Ramirez just confirmed we will be seeing the students, the dual students in their campus color, correct?
Yes.
I think that looks awesome. That looks beautiful. So that's a really good thing to be able to represent their high school. So I like that. That's really good. I have a question for Dr. Solis on the slide where the spring enrollment, the 5%, the 563. Do we happen to have a number? Because I have heard from friends that, oh, my son or my daughter is coming for winter,
Wintermester.
and they're studying at, Austin, Houston, whatever, but they
Right.
come over here and they still take a class or two.
Right.
Do we happen to have that number of how many students are not LC students?
Transients, we refer to students that are not with us, that are coming from other schools as transient students. I do not have that number with me or at this point, Mr. Rangel, but certainly this is something that we can bring forward to the presentation. Anecdotally, I can tell you that the majority of the students who participate in Wintermester are students that need to make up a class because they probably failed at the end of the fall and they need to catch up for spring. That's a bulk of the majority of students who take Wintermester. And then you have a sprinkling of those that are transient, that are here for the holidays, taking classes.
If you could get us that number, just to know
Sure.
exactly how much. Now, my next question on a follow-up on that one would, on the aid part, do these students, those that are doing the transfer, do they pay mainly in cash for the class?
For the most part, if they're considered transient students, they do pay out of pocket because they're receiving their financial aid at their home institution.
So
Correct.
it's mainly all pretty, you want to say a very high percentage that it's mainly
Out of pocket.
on their pocket. Oh, that's correct. Okay, that's it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Anybody else? Okay.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
and
Ms.
this
Newsom?
is some information that you can, sorry, thank you. You could give me later. I'm just interested in one, like, in a percentage. Of course, UISD is a lot larger of a district than LISD is, but percentage-wise, right? Because I see that the majority or a big chunk, right, is coming from our dual enrollment, and I think that's great. I would be interested to see percentage-wise based on the number, of course, of the district, right? And, of course, primarily your high schoolers, right? They start their freshman year. Now they're starting with, I think it's early college start or something like that, pathway. So I just would be interested in knowing that percentage. We can't do numbers because, like I said, UISD is a lot larger district, but we can come up with a percentage. I would be very interested whenever you have some time. You don't need to get it to me anytime soon. I would just be really interested in looking at that. It's something that interests me.
So just to be clear, Ms. Newsom, out of the 54% of dual, you want to know the breakdown between ISDs? Like what percentage of those 54?
Right, or even
are
parochial or
UISD
private,
LISD,
right?
parochial,
And
absolutely.
then,
Yeah.
and then see if we could do like a percentage, right? Because we can't compare apples to oranges. Like I
Right,
said,
right.
UISD is a lot larger
Right.
of a district, but I'm really interested to see like what is LISD doing for our kids to make sure that we are offering them and making sure that we direct them in, for this opportunity to come to Laredo College starting as a freshman,
Right.
Versus UISD. Not comparing numbers because we can't do that, but like a percentage, how many, freshmen through seniors they have in any given year at Alexander High School, United High School, or even let's just say the whole district as a whole, and coming up with a percentage. I mean, if you gave me the numbers, I could do the math, right?
Right,
I'm just really interested in, finding out percentage-wise so that we can compare in that regard. We can, and so if somebody needs to be like, nudged, like, hey, let's bring some more kids over to Laredo College. Why aren't we bringing some more kids? That would be me.
We can certainly.
And I would want to bring them.
Dr. Ramirez?
We can provide the level of participation from each of the campuses, how many freshmen are coming from this campus, that campus, and so on, how many sophomores, and so on and so on.
I would appreciate it.
Definitely.
No rush on that.
Dr. Ramirez?
Yeah, we can, we'll email that to you all. We have raw numbers. About 55% of that number is from UISD. 45% is either LISD or Harmony, Zapata, what is it called? San Agustin. What are the other privates?
Harmony, Zapata.
Harmony,
Some
no,
of the
no.
charter schools as
The
well.
charter schools
Triumph,
as
yeah,
well.
the
Triumph.
So we can get you the exact numbers, but I know that about 50 to 55% are UISD of that total number. And the rest, again, they're double the number of high schools as well. So you can,
And I guess what you're asking is,
Yeah, that's-
as a proportion of
Right, the
graduates,
proportion, right.
as a
Correct.
proportion of graduates
proportion
of that year?
or proportion. I think, Dr. Ramirez, I think maybe I wasn't clear. So yeah, that's a good word. Thank you, Ms. Benavides. A proportionate. So that's why I was saying you can't compare the numbers of UISD students
Right.
versus LISD, where, LISD is a much smaller district. But we can do a percentage, right? And that way, then you can do a proportion.
Definitely.
I just would want to see if, LISD and UISD are kind of at the same level.
Right, and we would definitely also take into account the different programs that each school offers, because the early colleges, for instance, have a cap at 100 students at each campus, so those will always be your constants. But are there adding any new programming? Are they adding anything new that may increase the enrollment? So we'll definitely also kind of distribute it with programs.
That would be awesome. And again, no rush on it, just something that piqued my interest. Thank you all so very much
No
for
problem.
everything you do.
Thank you. Okay. Are you guys done with your report?
Yes.
Any other questions?
No other questions as of right now. Okay, then we'll move on to the Aspen President's Fellowship. Dr. Minita Ramirez.
thank you, Madam Chair. So the week of spring break, while everybody was enjoying spring break, I was studying. I have the opportunity to be part of the Aspen Fellowship group, and there are 25 presidents from across the country. I do want to, some of the key areas that were focused on during the week was dual credit and the growing trend across the country of dual credit programming that is happening. The prediction is that somewhere in the next 5 to 8 years, there will be a shift in what a traditional high school looks like. The shift will become more of, there will be at that prep school year somewhere added, like it is in other countries possibly. That there's so much evolving in the research that traditional high schools may evolve and change. And we've already seen that with not only the dual, but early college high schools. We have magnet schools. There's so many different kinds of different opportunities embedded in a traditional high school already that students are really changing their thinking in, do I really want to waste my time with X, Y, or Z when I could already be in college and I could finish sooner? And they're all nodding their heads.
Yes.
So the idea behind the discussion there was the mere fact that community college enrollments are shifting and the balance is shifting is not an anomaly for us. It is really a national trend. I think another, in gathering the data and information from the program, is that the critical mass lies within. Do we have enough sections available to teach not only all the duals, but all the regular students? And so the low-hanging fruit right now for, or what is considered low-hanging fruit right now for community colleges is, yes, the student that wants to complete core curriculum or find a pathway into a bachelor's degree now being offered at the local college, or the student who is coming back after 10 years or 20 years of being out of college and never finished and wants to come back and finish their degree. They're working full-time, they're full-time parents, they're taking care of their own parents or grandparents. I mean, there's a whole hybrid of of differences in the kind of student that we're now responsible for. But the real key problem is having the faculty that are not only certified to teach in the workforce areas, but also have faculty that have the credentials to teach in a bachelor's program at a community college. So, I mean, we're fortunate that Dr. Guerrero does have her doctorate degree, and she was able to take this role on and be the leader of the program, and that Ms. El Toro's working on her PhD. And we have several faculty who are really focusing on how do I either finish my master's or get my PhD, because that is going to be the teaching faculty of the community college. And so at some point, we need to start looking at how we reinvest in our own employee to gain those credentials, because the master's trained teacher is teaching at the high schools because they get paid a little more, right? And so their master's is going to teach at the dual credit at the high school, and therefore becomes difficult for us to fulfill the faculty lines at the college level to teach all the other students. And so unfortunately, we struggle with having enough credentialed faculty to meet the demands of the dual credit, the traditional student, the non-traditional student, the workforce student, and having enough to offer at every single one of those levels. Again, not an anomaly for us. It is a growing trend, except for in metropolitan areas. I was sharing with Dr. Tijerina a story that was shared with us of a school in the Midwest that was struggling with an online adjunct faculty member. And that faculty member, when they couldn't find him, was assigned 4 classes. They were 4 online classes. Well, the president got involved and they started looking for this person, and they found that he was teaching for 4 different colleges and teaching 4 classes at each institution across the country. So was literally teaching 16 sections of history. How do you do that and do the job well? And so how do we protect the quality of teaching and learning, which is a huge area for Aspen? We have to protect the quality of the teaching and learning. And therefore, it's not that easy to say, well, hire someone to just teach online. Well, yes, but how do we protect the quality? And so using our quality matters and creating the courses in a way that develops a course is critical to the protection of what our outputs are. And so we spent a lot of time discussing the quality of teaching and learning, but we also spent a lot of time talking about the advancement of excellence and equity in student outcomes. How do we assure that what we're teaching in the workforce is parallel and equal to what we're teaching on the academic side? Is the excellence and the value on both ends equal? And so there's a lot of prioritizing of majors and the reforms that go into that. And so what we do in our programmatic reviews over the summer is very important, because that's where we're modifying and that's where we're quantifying and qualifying the excellence in the teaching and learning. And so all of these things that we're doing now and we keep evolving and enhancing are really the strengths of Aspen schools. Advising is a huge notion as well. That idea of making sure that professional advisors are the ones that are responsible for creating the schedule, but faculty advisors are spending time with students discussing opportunities in life. What is the future going to be if you're a history major? or you're a science major, and maybe you don't go to medical school, but what can you expect from life with your science degree? And so those conversations continue to evolve on our campus and across the country, because even after all these years of the education being a continuous cycle, we're still learning, and our students learn differently today than they have in the past. And so we have to be pliable, we have to be flexible, and then dealing with some of the other uncertainties of where's our workforce changing, and how do we meet the demands of the workforce? And so, and how do we make sure that the programs we're developing are credentials of value, follow a pathway, and that the pathway is attainable by all students in the program. And as Dr. Guerrero mentioned, life does happen. And we know that. We see it in our students every day. We see it in our employees every day. Somebody gets sick, somebody dies, somebody loses a job, somebody needs to quit to take care of X, Y, or Z, or take on a second job to support something else. And that's life. And what we're hoping to be part of is that reskilling, that retooling, or the tooling and skilling of individuals as they move through the process. And so the whole stackable credentials is going to be critical to us in the very near future. How we are able to correlate and coordinate with four-year institutions as well as the workforce is critical. Making sure that what we're teaching is what students need once they go out into the workforce. And so there's a whole, I still have a whole lot of homework to do, but it was a great program. It was a great week, and I was able to learn a great deal from my colleagues, and I'm really privileged to be part of this team. It really is an honor. There are only 25 that were selected across the country from 250 applicants.
Dr. Ramirez, could you explain a little bit about the importance of the Aspen Foundation?
Sure.
Because I don't know if everybody really knows how important it is to Laredo College that you are in this cohort, and that maybe one day we could be an Aspen school.
That's our goal.
Yes.
So I dream about that. I know Dr. Tejerina dreams about that.
Because I don't think they know.
So being an Aspen school is really attaining the pinnacle recognition of community colleges across the country. The distinction is incredible. It's the process itself of becoming an Aspen school is, one, you have to be invited to apply. Then once you're invited, you get through the first round, your application is read, your information is reviewed, and then maybe you make it to the second round. And fortunately for us, this last year, we made it to the second round. And in that second round, they go through all of your data, and they look for your data. You're required to submit a narrative and data, but then they validate that through the National Student Clearinghouse, and with your IPEDS data, and with your coordinating board data, and all of that has to match. And then once you get past that, and there are certain pillars that they're looking at: teaching and learning, academic excellence, workforce development, dual credit, and the expansion of dual credit. And so how those things are structured, then if you make it past the second level or the second round, then there's a campus visit. And a team of experts comes down and starts to interview people to determine, does everybody really know what the mission of the college is? Can you tell me what the mission of the college is? If you don't, please learn it, because they may come. Someday they may come. So, they want to know who's committed to the process on your campus. And they will interview people at random, and they will interview people in the community that you may not know, but they will do their homework, and they come in and they do this entire week of the visit. And then there will be a determination of whether or not you're an Aspen school or not. Similar to the public education, I know Blue Ribbon schools are huge pinnacle as well. And so, but Aspen is a very small and elite group of institutions across the country. It's not a statewide thing. It is an international thing now. And so,
Can you give us some examples of Aspen schools?
sure, Valencia Community College is one of the pinnacles that, St. San Jacinto College is an Aspen school. Alamo College is an Aspen school. And so there's a whole bunch. Well, no, there aren't a whole bunch, but in Texas, I think there are 4 or 5 Aspen schools. Howard College, Alamo, Valencia, San Jacinto, El Paso, Alpine? Oh, Alvin Community College, yeah. And so there are maybe 6, I think, in total in the group that have made it to that pinnacle, but they have really done they've made a lot of concerted efforts to make sure that the quality and the excellence is always there in every one of their pillars. And so we're there. I think we're there. We just have a few more things to take care of. And the coaches that are assigned to us are, incredible people that have been that have been working on this research for a long time. And so yes, I'm just
Excited to get there.
I am.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Rangel?
Thank you. Dr. Ramirez, and just because I don't know, and I'm just wondering, if you become an Aspen school, is it something that for forever, or is it an annual, or every 5 years that you have to reapply? How does this work? I don't know, and I would just want to know, is it like an annual application that you have to continue submitting?
No, your distinction, once you get your Aspen distinction, it stays.
Okay.
But they also use your data long-term. And so they will always go back to your institution and continue to gather data. And then they want to use you as a sample for the rest of the country. So 3 years from now, if we were, selected, for example, we look to Alamo colleges a lot. We look to San Jacinto College a lot for what are they doing, or when something comes up, how did they do it? Where are they going? How do we modify ours to model theirs? Because we know that it's already working. And because our student populations are so similar. And that also helps us make decisions. And so you become the model school. And so there's a certain level of excellence you want to maintain.
So with that, is there like of course, you want to make sure you have that, in I guess your wherever you have your let's say here, Laredo College, you're probably going to want to put, Aspen.
Yes, sir.
So my question is there a scholarship that would come with it that, that you are able to help students and all this? So it
Yeah.
does come with a financial
Yes.
impact.
Yes,
Okay.
there is a monetary award that comes with your selection. But I will tell you that while there is that money, I think it's more the pride in being able to call yourself an Aspen institution. And their website is open to the public. So if you go to the Aspen Institute website, they do things in they have different arms. They do things in business like they do in education. And so there are different arms of the Aspen Institute, but certainly for us and for this team of people that we get to work with, it's all about higher ed. Dr. Fred has a comment.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes.
So aside from the
Solis.
monetary distinction that the institution receives, which I believe is up to $1 million or so,
Wow.
if you're recognized as an Aspen Institute, when individuals from the institution speak at conferences, people listen because they know they're coming from a quality institution. They know they're coming from not just what people want to hear, but actually something that's been put into practice.
And that was my last question is, for the students, is it something that colleges, let's say you have a student that starts here and gets their bachelor's degree, decides to apply to a bigger institution, to get a master's, or then go to get a doctorate. Does it help the students in their application to be able to say, I graduated from Laredo
Absolutely.
College and it is considered an Aspen, institution?
One of the perks of the distinction is that you get to put the Aspen logo on everything. Your website, you can even add it to your transcripts. They give you that opportunity to use that distinction at your leisure. For students, I think it is to their benefit that seal of approval would go with them as well when they get to apply to any institution of higher learning for a master's program or doctoral program, because that distinction is well recognized amongst higher education. It is not just right now in the state of Texas, Texas Association of Community Colleges and through the Texas Success Center and the Pathways Initiative, they're partnering with the Aspen Institute. And so next week we go to our Pathways Conference, and the presenters, they've asked some of us who are in the fellowship to speak, but the presenters are all the fellows that work with us during the Aspen Institute. And so Dr. Josh Weiner will be there. Pascal will be there. I mean, there's all these people that everybody looks up to in the industry, and they're the ones that are going to be teaching. And so the team that we're taking is going to get to actually sit in class with them as well, which is a huge opportunity for us. So everybody right now is trying to do the best they can to get that distinction and look at the opportunities that come with that distinction. And so I think for our students, it's huge. For our institution, it would be huge. And so hopefully we'll get invited to apply again. We'll see.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ramirez. Anybody else, any other questions? No?
I just want to make a comment.
Yes,
I think the
Dr.
fact that Dr.
Ortiz.
Ramirez is in fact been invited to be an Aspen Scholar is an incredible opportunity that adds to the institution and all the work that they've been doing. So I just want to make that comment
Yes.
because certainly it is. I mean, and there's a lot of work and it's a collaborative work
Yeah.
in progress, and I know that. But I just think being invited in itself is a
Yes.
huge distinction.
And
And it is a reflection of the institution and the work that everybody is doing, as she said. Everybody just, during that week, I sent everybody, a lot of the leadership team got a survey that they needed to fill out because that data needs to be compiled for our week next week and for the work that I need to get done. So I can't start answering my next module until all that data is compiled. And so I hope everybody did their homework too. Because it's a lot of information. Some of you have met Martha Ellis. Martha, when she did our training last year for the Board of Trustees, she is a former instructor for Aspen. She is leading the pathways through this project. And she is the one putting together the Pathways Conference that we're going to next week. And she's the one that keeps sending me emails every day. We're missing some of your reports. So, but it's a lot of data. All of this is data. In addition to, this is the workbook for this session. I get another one at the next one that I go to in the fall. And so this doesn't include what we do online. This doesn't include our classes during the week. Almost every Friday, we have class. So there's this ongoing tension. So those of you sitting in the back from our BAS org, no, learning never ends.
I was just gonna say, guys, we're in the same boat. Everybody's in the same boat. So, well, thank you, Dr. Ramirez. Anyone else? Any other comments?
I'm just gonna have to, sorry, you all, I have to excuse myself. I have to get back to work.
We're at adjournment.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay, so then, number 6, do I hear a motion to adjourn? Do we have to do that? Do we have a
motion.
anybody a second? Ms. Newsom, second. And our meeting is over. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much
all.
for everything. Thank you.
I'm gonna fly you guys.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you all.
There is. Go
You know
get
what,
some.
I'll take it.
Yeah, take it.
I can only be out for an hour.
Go. Yeah, go.